Our final Saluki player to spotlight this summer, Jorge Moreno, is our guest as he transfers in to the Saluki program. Jorge, good to finally have you here this summer at Carbondale. What's it been like the last couple of weeks getting integrated with the team, man? How's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Everybody here is like really funny. They're really cool dudes.
What's been the best part about just the team? Just getting to know the guys, acclimating their personalities for you. How have they been welcoming to you?
Everybody's really cool. They welcome it, and we try to push each other in practice. So I really like that. I like the environment that they're creating over here.
Of course, the environment, all those things are so important, Jorge, from a basketball standpoint. And it was one of the things we talked about before we started recording. Just getting in shape, I know, is a big part of this summer. For you, what have you tried to do in your time when you weren't here to get you ready for when you do get here, and now that time is so important now for you?
I mean, I was trying to run by myself, but it's totally different. Playing versus in high intensity, it changed everything because you can be doing it by yourself, but it's different. You actually have to be following somebody, and the contact is it gets you more tired.
Well, and especially when you got a lot of physical guys, which you have on this team here too. But your college experience for you now coming to Southern Illinois, when you were deciding, Jorge, man, what's the next best spot for me? What was it about this staff that you really enjoyed?
Like how they approach to me,
Yeah.
I really like how everything looks, like the team, everything. I just really like the environment that is over here.
I know Coach Javon Mayo was a big part of your recruiting process. For him, he's a big personality too. How important was he in your process and having – I think everybody knows you want to have that connection with the staff, but there's always that one coach you really kind of gravitate
He
towards.
always helping me, trying to push me harder. When I'm too tired, I'm on knees. He's always the first one to tell me stand up. Even if I get mad, I know that he's doing for my good. So I just really thankful for him.
I know basketball is a sport that you haven't played your whole life. It's relatively, I think, one of the sports you've picked up recently. You really enjoyed playing baseball. I know growing up in some heritage within your family playing baseball. When did basketball come to you, Jorge? I think this is a sport that I can really pick up.
So for my family, from being Mexicans, we're really tall. So my mom and dad, they used to always be playing basketball, but that's not something I really care. I like to play baseball, but I don't like to watch it though.
Yes.
But my mom and dad, they used to play a lot of basketball. I really don't care, and I was just trying to figure out what I want to do. And then the opportunity comes, a coach see me, I was already really tall but not doing anything. So they just called me to play, and that's how I end up here.
What was your favorite position on the baseball field? I'm sure you probably played a lot of different ones.
Nah.
No?
I was the fat and tall kid, so they were putting me in first base, or I was the one making the home runs. So.
Not played center field?
I was not running.
Understandable for sure. How many different sports have you played, Jorge? I know soccer a little bit you experimented with, but how many times did you just growing up just play a lot of different sports just to kind of see where you would go?
I did swimming for 2 years. I do baseball when I was a kid, basketball when I was 16, and soccer I just do it for fun. I just really love to watch soccer.
So now coming here, as you've been able to see the team and see what they've had, one of the biggest areas this summer, Jorge, is the size and athleticism has been key. When you first got here and you saw everybody, what were your first impressions just of your teammates from a basketball perspective and their strengths?
That we're going to be good. I hope we're going to have a good season.
I know those are areas where you continue to work at and continue to get better. Who are some of the guys on the team that you enjoy going up against in practice? I know, obviously, you being a big guy, you go up against Jaheim, you go up against Antoine, Jarrett, etc. What's it about those guys that make you better?
I mean, they always go hard. I really like how we have a good environment, but we're always competing in practice. Though, we're not leaving anything easy. That's something I like.
When you go up against those type of talented guys, from a basketball standpoint, where does it make you better, your game specifically with your skill?
I mean, it just gets you so when you're competing versus better people, you just go, even if you're bad or something, you're going to keep getting better because you're seeing them, you see what is good, what you work on. They're always competing, so if you have if you're not going at 100%, you're going to be struggling, and it's just everybody's pushing each other, how I said.
One of the things I always enjoy about catching up with the guys this summer is how their game has evolved through the years, gotten better. When you think the first time you hit the basketball court, Jorge, to now, where has your game grown the most, where you're comfortable to say, these are my strengths as a player?
I mean, in the offensive, because in the beginning I was just like going for rebounds and blocks, and that was it. And then I was just start working on my game, and I think the offensive game is the thing that I improved the most because I was not doing anything. I was all the time passing the ball. I was like, because I was just a star, I was just afraid to shoot the ball.
Yeah. It's easy to see this summer. I know you just finished up your second week. You'll have your third and final week next week. But your skill around the basket is definitely high skill. What are ways when you get into practice or even when you get time to work on yourself, Jorge, what are kind of the main drills or main things that you work on to get your skills and being able to finish? Because your touch is really good around the basket.
I really don't know. Like
Yeah.
that's something that I was just something that I always have. Like I don't know how like to explain. Like for example, in my case, when I see like a video, I don't watch that much basketball. I want to like when I'm like in Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
And I say like a good post plays, I save it on my phone, and I watch it once, and then I do it like in slow motion. Like I do it like on the court, and then without knowing, I'm doing it by like a full speed.
Yeah. You mentioned some different videos you've watched. Are there any specific players professionally that you've really picked up on that you like watching their film and trying to do the same thing to emulate into your game?
I mean, I like to watch like a lot of highlights. So,
Yeah.
so like it really depends. Like even like really athletic guys, they will go like do a nice post to it and I will get it, and I will try to do it my way. For example, I have a lot of videos of Anthony Davis. It's because I just really like him. But when I'm watching, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be doing like the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it like my style. I like to watch Sengun, Jokic. I really like to watch Embiid.
One of the when people have kind of looked at SIU as a place to come to play, one thing that's going to be clear to you, Jorge, when you get introduced to Saluki Nation this year is great crowds, really fun environments in the arena. How much of your college experience, Jorge, are you looking forward to now to play in those type of environments every night when you're in the arena to see a lot of fans come in and really make it a fun environment to play?
Nah, like when you have a good environment, it gives you like a boost up because it's like you get with the energy. Like I don't know if I explain myself because when I was in JUCO, like we were good, but it was not that much like fans going.
Yeah.
But they're saying like the crowds here go crazy, so I'm excited to go and see it for the first time.
They'll go crazy for you, especially when you can dunk it a few times. I think that will help get the crowd off of its feet. But outside of just getting acclimated, Jorge, as we talked about, you being able to come from home, coming from a different country, continuing to get acclimated, what is it about Southern Illinois, the staff, the team, that is making you welcoming, where you're starting to feel at home here a little bit and feel comfortable?
The teammates, like for real, like they really make you feel comfortable. Like all of them, they're really cool, and I really like how it's like how it's around here. It's really peaceful. Like nothing to be like to Mexico City. I'm not from there, but I already lived there 1 year, and it was going crazy all the time. Nah, but I love Mexico City though.
Yeah. So the other week, you guys were able to bowl for the first time. Looked like. Has bowling been something common that you've done with the team, or
bowling?
Bowling through that? Because your scores were okay. You know, you were.
I mean, I was just trying that thing strong. Like it's not something that I go for. Like when I go back home, I'm just trying like to put like something to grill or something with my parents. I would just be like, "Hey, Appa, can you make me some carne asada or something like that?"
Well, you guys had a pool party the other day. Like, are you a big like cannonball into the pool? Like,
Nah,
are you a big
chilling.
pool person? Do you like hanging out by the pool?
Nah, not really.
No, not really.
I just like to be like hanging out.
Just hanging out, just calm.
Yeah.
Jorge, we'll end on this note. I know it's hard to believe only 1 week left of summer. I'm sure your 2 weeks and now 3 weeks will fly by in a blink of an eye. But for you personally, what do you want to get out of this final week? Like, what's an area that you're kind of focused on? Like, I want to maximize this to end my summer on a really good note.
I want to put my weight down. Like that's something I've been talking with the coaches. Like I'm a little bit overweight,
Yeah.
so I need to lose it. So it's like a goal for me. Like try to go. Like the goal I had to hit is not like just for 3 weeks. I'm trying to hit that goal like when the season starts.
In practice, no question, you get a chance, the opportunity to work on it. What are ways outside of practice, Jorge, do you try to focus on your weight, but also other areas of keep getting in better shape in conjunction with what you're doing with Coach Show and everybody in terms of the weightlifting staff?
I always working with him because we always before every practice we trying to do like extra stuff like to get me in better shape or to work on my body because that's something that I had like to improve because they're in a totally different level than me right now.
No doubt about it. Jorge, it's going to be hard to believe, but the season will be here before we know it. It's been good to get to know you here in these first 3 weeks here in your summer, but appreciate the time, Jorge. Look forward to the rest of the summer, the last week here, and excited for the season to come up here shortly.
I'm already excited too. I want to see that crowd.